How you guys doing? Thanks so much for joining us. My name is Steven Rosenberg at StevenTRosenberg.com. I'm also the CEO of Green Purpose LLC, and this is Gene. Gene, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, thanks. I'm really excited to be here. And I'm Gene Ginzburg. I'm from Ginzburg.net, and we're a digital marketing agency. And today we're going to talk about social media and business. So one of our subscribers emailed me and asked me a question about social media and business. So the question was, how has social media influenced business in the last 5 years? And what do we think is going to happen in the next 5 years? So what's going to happen to social media and business in the next 5 years? So Steven, why don't you tell me what do you think has been happening in the last 5 years and the relationship between social media and business?
That's a really good question to the person that asked that. Well, I think, the past 5 years, there's been a lot of resistance to social media. I think, up in the last 2 years, there's been a lot more acceptance. It's been a progressionary process for people, just the same way that it was when e-commerce first came out on the internet, where people were very reluctant to put in their credit card into a computer because they didn't trust it yet. But now I think over the last 5 years, you've seen the attention switch from different types of platforms, and I think it's going to continue to do so. But I think the way that it's most influenced businesses is that you've seen from the beginning of that 5 years ago today, there was a lot more resistance against using social media and how to do so. And I think now it's like, if you're not on social media as a business, you're not really a relevant business in today's world. So I think that's a pretty drastic shift over the last 5 years. And it's just now really not only being accepted, but expected. What do you think?
I think that those are excellent points. And I agree with that. But I also think that besides what you mentioned, I also think there's a lot of businesses that are still not on social media, especially like smaller businesses. So I think now would be the time to get on social media, to get on Facebook, to get on Twitter and Instagram, and especially YouTube, because with YouTube and video blowing up right now, I feel like it's so important to be on YouTube and to show your presence in that kind of media. The other piece that I feel like the relationship between social media and business, how it's changed, is that it's become a lot more transparent. So like, if a customer has a problem, if they feel like they have not been taken care of, like they can go on Facebook into that company's Facebook page and like post that on there. I mean, like before we didn't really have that kind of transparency, which I think was good and bad. I guess there's pros and cons to everything. But now, I mean, like if I'm unhappy about XYZ business, I can just go there and be like, hey, they took me out of my money, or they were unfair to me, so it's kind of a whole new ball game now. I feel like with the way it is in the transparency. So yeah, that's a very good point, Stephen. I appreciate your thoughts on that.
Yeah, and I appreciate yours, because I think the transparency thing is a really good point. It's very self-governing now. There was all this chaos when these kind of business models came out about, oh, well, what about this and that and all these other things. But, yeah, you can screw people over, but you're only going to get away with it once, and you're not really going to get away with it. The company's going to deal with it, but at the same time, you as a person, your reputation is then tarnished forever, because, your information does not die on the internet. It's there forever.
Yeah, that's very true. Like it's there as a record for forever. So if you post it on somebody's on a business's Facebook page like 5 years ago, somebody can go back in those records 5 years ago and see what happened. So yeah, that reputation will stay with you forever. That's a very good point.